The rose, the one from Mom's boyfriend, had ended up falling into Bubblegum's pot as well, but apparently Mom deemed it, the rose, important enough to immediately put it into a new vase, without even trying to clean it or anything. I realized, mildly disturbed. Bubblegum squealed with joy when some of the red tomatoes drops landed on his porridge and cacao-lathered face. He was probably already taking notes for the future when he was old enough to do some of this chaos himself. I quickly turned off the faucet and reached for the roll of kitchen paper. I ripped off about 200 to 300 sheets and tried to free the phone from its tomato soup coating. It really took almost the entire roll until the small device was at least somewhat clean and dry. I am a very orderly person on occasion, and disposed of the 200 to 300 sheets of kitchen paper in the local trash can. The entire can was now filled with tomato soup-soaked kitchen paper, and Mom lamented about how now she had nowhere to put the porcelain shards. I couldn't have cared less about her sorrows, and pressed buttons that were supposed to turn on the phone so I could finally read the text from Dad, but the little screen stayed dead. Mom! I yelled, just a little distressed. Though really, I should have expected this. You don't just drown your electronic communication devices in tomato soup and get away scot-free. The phone is broken! Oh no, said Mom, and tried to hydraulically press the kitchen paper deeper into the trash can to make room for the smelling porcelain shards. Seems like we'll never know what he wanted to say, and you won't be able to visit him for the holidays. Next time, he just needs to time his message better. He should have known that we were mid-breakfast at this time. That did seem a little unfair, both to me and my dad. But then again, divorced parents rarely treat each other fairly. I was just about to cry because I really wanted to visit Dad over the holidays. But then I remembered that adults would say the most horrible things while angry, and as soon as they'd calmed down, you could actually talk to them again. So I didn't give up on spending Christmas in Thuringia just yet. Can I try to get the phone running again? I asked Mom. Mom just waved me off. Meanwhile, she was trying to minimize the damage around Bubblegum. She'd procured and wetted a sheet-sized towel and fought for dear life to wipe off the red droplets from Bubblegum's face. Bubblegum fought back with similar vigor, like she was skinning him alive instead of trying to clean his face with a wet towel. She didn't even notice that her white sweatshirt had turned from being snow white into having an interesting camouflage pattern of porridge and cacao. At least she paid no mind to me, the actual culprit of this whole disaster. So I took the cleaned up phone and withdrew into my room. Chapter 4, in which I introduce my friend. I am not one of these kids that own all sorts of technology or got sat in front of a computer before I could even walk. I don't have my own computer or satellite connected flat screen. I don't have a PlayStation and don't feel like having one either. Well, I know how to play a disc on the TV and use the drawing program on my mom's computer. However, for the longest time, I knew less about phones than even a toddler. But I knew that not all hope was lost, even when the phone itself stopped working. You see, there was this guy in my grade, quite reasonable, something about as rare as snow in a desert, A reasonable 8-year-old guy, I mean. And that guy sat next to me in class, at least in religion, where pupils from different were put together into one class. We, Kai and me, quickly realized that he lived in the house right next to mine, and well, one day he told me, I stole my older brother's phone a while back. Well, not stole, but I played games on it and then I put it into my jacket pocket, like here, the one without the zipper. And then I went to the toilet and made such a dumb movement it fell into the toilet bowl. He freaked the hell out when I confessed that to him. Lucky for me, I just had enough money in my piggy bank to buy him a new one, and he just needed to take the SIM card out of the old one and put it into the new one. SIM cards usually survive being drowned a little, and bam! He had all his contacts and data back and didn't even need to change his phone number. Kai always talked way too quickly, especially when talking about technical details like that, and always used way too many technical terms. What did he need to change? I asked for that reason, as mentioned before, I'm not much of a techie. His SIM card. Kai had the audacity to laugh at me, kind of justified, because I really was utterly clueless. Look, inside of every phone, there's this tiny card, like maybe the size of a fingernail, and that tiny card contains basically all of your important information. Once again, take notes, Anna. This is the version for medieval peasants and dummies like you. When your phone breaks, you just take out the card and put it into a new phone, and you get to keep all of the most important stuff from your old phone. People can still call your old number and you'll get the call on your new phone and don't have to explain to all your friends that your phone took a deep dive into the toilet. That made us both laugh, though I dared to ask after a while, I got it, but are you sure that medieval peasants would have understood your explanation as well? Anyway, from then on, I knew how to deal with certain phone-related accidents, at least in theory, and I thought to myself, all I have to do is take out the SIM card from your mom's phone and insert it into your new phone. Okay, but I'll never manage that on my own. There aren't any medieval peasants who may or may not have understood Kai's explanation better than I. So all that is remain is Kai. I glanced at the little digital clock on my night desk, 9:30. Quite early on a Saturday morning. I highly doubted my classmate would be awake at this hour, but even in case he still slept, I knew just the way to wake him up. We'd discovered a messaging system that some kids had probably installed between our two homes at some point, maybe with a huge ladder from a fire truck. At least that's what we suspected. Smack dab in the middle of the little asphalt patch between our house was a huge walnut tree, and someone with a good bow and an even better aim had apparently shot an arrow with a light cord wrapped around the end high up into the trunk. The arrow was stuck in the tree. At the end of the cord was a tennis ball, and that ball was now dangling about 4 meters above ground below the tree.